Hey guys, it's the MetalBlade 5, and welcome back to another MetalBlade theory. I would have made this theory sooner, but I wanted to wait until the Halloween update for Five Nights at Freddy's 4 came out in case anything in there might give evidence to either prove or disprove this theory, and some recent events made me put this video back, because I thought this would be a bit inappropriate. But anyway, after FNAF 4 came out, I realized that based on the evidence of the series, I have a big idea as to who Purple Guy really is. It's not Phone Guy, and it's not the FNAF 4 kid's dad or Scott Coffin. What the hell is with those last two? It makes no sense to me. What's actually funny is that ever since Five Nights at Freddy's 2 came out, I always thought that would be a cool plot twist if Purple Guy was this person, and I think that might actually be the case now. We're not stalling. Based off of the evidence I have, I believe that Purple Guy's true identity is the owner of Fredbear's Family Diner. The first piece of evidence that points to this is the fact that in FNAF 4 you can see that the Purple Guy was in Fredbear's Family Diner putting a spring Bonnie suit onto an employee. Now, I know some of you are going to mention the Game Theory's second FNAF 4 theory, where MatPat says that the location in FNAF 4 is the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. While MatPat has one piece of evidence to support this, I'm pretty sure it's Fredbear's, because if it was a Freddy Fazbear's restaurant, why is Fredbear the mascot and not Freddy? And they clearly say it's Fredbear. I think that maybe the training tape is just a plot hole, especially considering it was from FNAF 3. Now that we know that Purple Guy was a part of Fredbear's Family Diner, let's look at the FNAF 4 kid getting his head crushed by Fredbear. And this is not the Bite of 87, as the TV says 1983. Now, some people do argue that it could be a rerun, but Scott never puts anything in a FNAF game without reason. And if you look at the events of the series, Fredbear's Family Diner gets shut down, then it becomes Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the murders happen, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza gets a huge makeover with new high-tech animatronics. All of that is very unlikely to happen in the same year. Further proof for this comes from the newspaper in the first game talking about the first pizzeria getting shut down due to health violations, which says that it will shut by the end of the year. Also, this may be due to the Atari graphics, but it looks more like the kid is getting his head crushed rather than losing his frontal lobe. This leads to the kid dying in hospital and, in my opinion, ends up possessing Fredbear, who eventually becomes known as Golden Freddy, because they have to be the same animatronic. Otherwise, why would Scott make them both yellow if they didn't have a connection? Now, I know people argue that the FNAF 4 kid becomes the puppet. I said in my last video that I would go into more depth as to why, so here it is. In the kid's dream before he dies, Fredbear says he will put him back together, which sounds like he's giving him new life by letting him possess him. The puppet's jump scare plays when the crying child is murdered in the Give Cake minigame. As Matt pointed out in his second FNAF 4 game theory, the kid is the odd one out on his birthday as his brother and his friends are wearing masks of the animatronics, and he's not like that with the dead children in the Give Gifts Give Life minigame. And in the birthday minigame FNAF 3, where you play as the puppet, you see a birthday party with 4 kids wearing masks, the 4 main animatronics, and a crying child who, after you give him cake, puts on a Golden Freddy mask. Plus, I know that MatPat thinks that the thing with the kid saw was Purple Guy murdering someone who he thinks is psychic friend Fredbear, but there isn't any concrete proof of this, as the line, "Remember what you saw," could mean anything, and the hair in the Fredbear costume backstage could be wires or part of the suit. It's hard to tell due to the graphics. What I think is the case with what the kid saw is that I believe that the FNAF 4 kid has automatonophobia, if I pronounce that right, which is a phobia of things that falsely resemble sentient beings, such as animatronics. You see that the kid is scared of both the animatronic and suit modes of the suits, possibly because they falsely resemble animals, which could be why he's crying all the time and hates Fredbear's Family Diner, especially when he's locked backstage because he gets to see how even more fake they are. Plus, it would make sense for Scott to include a character that has a fear of animatronics, because that's what the whole basis for the idea of Five Nights at Freddy's came from, was people being scared of these animatronics at children's restaurants. Also, I think Psychic Friend Fredbear, as Matt Beck calls him, is just a voice in his head reminding him of his fear rather than the ghost of a child, because I think that's a bit of a stretch. So now that we've taken care of the common counter-arguments, let's get back to the kid's death, which I personally think is the spring lock incident because his tears would moisten the locks. An incident like this would give the place a bad reputation, and is most likely the reason why Fredbear's Family Diner shut down, putting the purple guy, if he is the owner, out of business, which could lead to the purple guy's hatred for children as the kid's brother and his friends put him out of business. Then, Fazbear Entertainment decides to buy the rights, which give the owner new hope in the revival of his business, because his business gets a second chance. But instead of making it Fredbear, they make it Freddy Fazbear to distance themselves from the incident. And they leave Fredbear as a spare in the back and call him Golden Freddy. The owner obviously wouldn't like this change to his business, as it's such a drastic change, and apparently a lot of people these days hate change, so he tries to get the place shut down by murdering a crying child outside the restaurant, possibly because it reminds him of the incident. And then the crying child becomes the puppet. But that doesn't end up working, so then, since he gave the rights of the business to Fazbear Entertainment, he would likely be given extra access for the Fazbear Entertainment to show him around. So, he sneaks backstage, puts on the Springtrap suit, as the spring locks in that suit weren't moist and he knew how to operate them, as we see in FNAF 4, and then murders the FNAF 4 kid's brother and his friends to take his revenge on them for shutting down his business, and to get Freddy Fazbear's Pizza shut down. So yes, I'm not saying that the 5 missing children became Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. I'm saying that the 5 missing children became Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and the puppet. My evidence for why I think the brother and his friends were murdered is again what Matt Bat talks about in his theory, with how Golden Freddy is the odd man out, since the brother wears a Foxy mask and his friends wear masks of Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, hinting that they became those animatronics. So then, the puppet transfers the brother and his friends' souls into their respective animatronics, and this leads to the health violations that get the first pizzeria shut down. And then this leads to FNAF 2. In FNAF 2, I believe that the owner of Fredbear's plotted to get the new pizzeria shut down, but since this was a new look and Fazbear Entertainment did not want a repeat of last time, he likely couldn't get extra access, so instead, he got a job there. My evidence for this is that in the Give Cake and Foxy Go 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 minigames, they take place in the first pizzeria, and in those minigames, you see that Purple Guy has a different sprite than in the Save Them minigame. One key difference is that the Save Them sprite has a badge showing that he works there, but the others do not. This shows that the Purple Guy did not have a job in the first pizzeria, but got one in the second pizzeria. Further proof for this is the fact that Phone Guy mentions in FNAF 2 that they have been trying to contact the owner of Fredbear's Family Diner, but can't, because he's not there. He's working in the pizzeria, if this theory is true. Now, onto the phone the Purple Guy has in his hands, which made many people think he was the Phone Guy. I believe that is actually a device that tampers with the animatronics, as coming into contact with the Purple Guy shuts down Freddy and crashes the game. I believe that Purple Guy used this device to reprogram the toy animatronics, as none of them are acting right, as Phone Guy mentions in FNAF 2, and this led to most likely Mangle, calls it about 87, due to her large mouth and the fact that Foxy was kept in spare parts rooms, and because children would be very close to her due to being a take apart and put back together attraction, which led to the FNAF 2 pizzeria closing. Now to the FNAF 1 pizzeria, which I think is the first pizzeria because there's a safe room and it would be much easier for Fazbear Entertainment to reopen in a previous location. Here we see that the Purple Guy's sprite in the FNAF 3 minigames between nights has no badge, so he doesn't work there, showing why he only shows up when the pizzeria is shut down, because he couldn't get access. So he tries to stop the animatronics from getting him by hiding in the safe room and dismantling them, which ends up freeing their souls, and the FNAF 4 kid leaves Golden Freddy to pass into the safe room to help his brother and his friends kill the Purple Guy by having him jump inside the Springtrap suit as water leaks from the ceiling, which makes him become Springtrap and end up in Fazbear's Fright, where he attempts revenge by killing anyone he sees. So that's it. There's my theory to show that Purple Guy could very likely be the owner of Fredbear's Family Diner. Even though I have a lot of evidence, and I personally believe it, this is still just a theory, not fact.